Hey, it's Ty Cook, Cook in the Classroom, and welcome back to my channel. This week, I want to tell you all about digital escape rooms, how you can create your very own, and ideas for how to incorporate these into your classroom and bring the magic of this escape room to your students. Before I show you how I create a Google Form digital breakout, I do want to give you a little bit of background info on how I started using digital breakouts and why I think they are so useful and so helpful for a teacher to assess their students. A few years ago, I had the task of doing a physical breakout after testing at the end of the year. And I had never done a breakout game before, and I thought that I was going to be given an escape room and just hosting it. But little did I know I actually had to create it myself and learn from scratch. And at that point, I had never heard of a digital breakout, so I was using physical locks, and the kids had an absolute blast. I learned a lot going through that process, but the thing I didn't like is that the students had a really hard time with the locks. They cost a lot of money and some of them broke. So when I started learning about digital breakouts, I became obsessed because using Google Form files, we can create literally any lock combination that we want to and just find a creative and fun way to get your students hooked, excited, engaged. Now, my escape rooms require a Google Form file. I create some documents and supporting evidence to go along with them to spice it up and make it where they have to really think critically, in addition to displaying and showing me their knowledge of the topic, which this week was cell organelles. However, you can make escape rooms any way that you possibly want, and it could be something as simple as today they're going to do some math problems, and each problem unlocks and moves them on to the next one. And they're just really great ways to change it up, to get your kids excited, and there's tons of different strategies that you can use to bring them into your very own classroom. They can be simple, they can be really complex. With me, I love to do classroom transformations along with them. I've done Escape the Operating Room, which I'm linking in the description down below. I just did Escape the Cell Block and made it an entire Western theme. And then I've done Escape the Classroom, where my students learned all about my classroom and everything I wanted them to know. So the students are very engaged. I usually structure it in groups of 4 to 6, and I find that 4 to 6 students is not too small because we have enough people to really help and they're all communicating. But above 6 members I've found to be hard for them to work as a team. So that's my sweet spot as far as the group size. You could make it an individual thing, and maybe it's just an assessment that they're taking. It could be a formative, it could be a summative. That is totally up to you. The way I have done escape games most of the time is digital in groups, and I love it because students are debating, they're communicating, they're showing me their knowledge without even understanding that it's an assessment. And I'm able to see what I have taught well, where they're able to show their knowledge, and then I'm also able to see where we're lacking understanding and what I need to go back and reteach. So the critical thinking, the way that I can use it as an assessment, but also how engaged and rigorous they can really be, is the highlights of an escape game to me. So those are some of the ways that I have found escape rooms to be useful. You can totally adapt it and make it your own, but I want to walk y'all through just some quick tips on how to set up your Google Form escape file, and then I'm going to give you some additional resources as to how you can make some puzzles very easily to incorporate as clues into your escape room. So let's go see. The first thing that you need to do is to go to Google Drive And when you click New, you're going to go down to More and click Google Forms. So it will open a new form, and I've created one called Escape Math Class. And I think that Google Forms are great for any class, but math especially. So I've created this Google form. It's got my first question, and let's say that we just want to use this as an assessment to see if they understand the concept we're teaching that week. All right, so I've put in a math problem, and over here on the options, I've clicked Short Answer. Now, when you click Short Answer as the answer option, you are able to do response validation. And that is really important for a Google form because it tells them in the escape room if they got the question right and then they move on to the next section, or if they get it wrong, it will tell them whatever you type in right here. So you've got to also make it required. Required means that they have to answer it, and we do want them to answer it, and the response validation is on. So we know that the answer to this question would be 8 plus 3, which is 11, and then 11 times 5 is 55. So if they got it wrong, we might type in something like remember order of operations, or something that we wanted to give them as a hint that might help them solve this problem. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to add a new section. So that's this button right down here. Now they've solved the first one. It continues on to the next section, and you can look right here. It's going to automatically go to the next section, which is section 2, but if you wanted it to go in a certain order that's not this order, you could do that also. So you could click section 2 or just say automatically. So I would type in lock number 2. I can put in a brand new question. So we're adding the question. And just like in the last one, I'm doing the short answer question. I'm going to make it required. And then I'm going to do response validation. And here are all of your options. You can do text, so it could be a word, it could be an expression, it could be a number. And here's what's great for you math people. When you do a number, you can say it's greater than, it's equal to, and all of these things. So in some of my escape games, I code certain clues, like cell organelles in my Escape the Cell block had a number on the back of them. So when they found the mitochondria was the answer, they flipped it over and it was number 2. So it ended up being a 5-digit lock that was equal to 52146. And only when they typed in the correct number did it open that lock and move to the next section. So I typically do, however many locks I want, and it continues. We just add sections all the way until we're done. And then I always add a section at the end that says, congratulations, you've escaped. So this would be a really great way to make an assessment. It could be formative, summative, individual. It could be a group activity. But there's tons of ways that you can use this, including adding YouTube videos. So they might even watch a YouTube video on the topic if they didn't get it correct and go back. You can include images like figures and tons of stuff. But those are some ways that you can create your digital escape, and you've just got to use the response validation and then create your sections to have them move through each lock. I hope that this video has helped you get some ideas and brainstorm ways that you can create your very own digital breakout, some different strategies for how you could use it into your classroom. Whether you want to do an escape room or you just want to create a fun activity to spice it up and do something neat with your kids, all of these ideas I hope will help you when you create your own digital breakout. And if you have any questions, comment below and I would be more than happy to help you guys. And as always, these products are in my TPT store. I'm linking them in the description. And I have video tutorials with everything you need to know about escape the cell block, escape the operating room, and more. And until I see y'all next week, happy teaching, and I will see you in the classroom.